First of all, I bring greetings in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I don't know how 25 years has gone. I left Bangalore, without needing to have a chashma with me, and came back to Bangalore needing a chashma. So I think a lot of time has gone by. But I'm really grateful that I've been given this opportunity to come back and then, share the time with you, spend the time with you, particularly on an occasion like this where we are celebrating the Silver Jubilee. My respect goes to our MCs, the President of the ANGAMI Student Union Bangalore, the AKB Bangalore, our President Asu and his colleagues, the President of NSUB Bangalore, the ENSUB, the convener and his colleagues of the Silver Jubilee Organizing Committee, friends from Delhi, from our Wasu, Nasu, as well as Sasu, and friends from other tribal units who are here in Bangalore, freshers who have just joined Bangalore this year. Some are students, some are already working, and my dear SUB Bangalore, thank you so much for this opportunity. Well, I have not come to give a speech. I've actually come to celebrate with you all. And I would also like to thank you for the wonderful hospitality that you have shown yesterday, since the time we arrived till now. Time really flies. When we were students here in Bangalore, we thought that time really took a long time. Even for one day to finish, it was a long time, particularly when you were sitting in the class. A period was very long, which was just an hour, but it was very long. But when you look back in life, 50 years is nothing. I've crossed 50, and I'm sure many of you who are here as youngsters today in your teens, you'll be touching 50 one day. And that time when you look back, you'll see that, what you invested at that point of time, when you're in your teens, when you're in your early 20s, that is what will decide where you are when you're in your 50s. We have freshers who have come as students, and we have freshers who have come as professionals. Well, I wish you all the best. There's a lot to take from Bangalore. The climate here is so beautiful. I perhaps was a little late in coming to Bangalore comparing to, when NSUB started, I think somewhere in the 60s, late 60s. Bangalore was initially started as a city for pensioners. Then, during our days, it became a city for education. And later, as we left this city, it became a city for IT, with the setting up of the Silicon Valley, with the setting up of the Whitefield, the electronic city and other things. Today, it is an industrial city where I was so surprised that last night at 11 o'clock, there was traffic jam in the streets of Bangalore, which normally we don't see even in Delhi. This is what has happened to Bangalore over the years, and I'm sure you are experiencing one or the other part. When we got together and then decided that our people needed union, not for anything, but to keep in touch with one another, to ensure that there's unity, to ensure that we do what we were sent here to do. when we started, you know, it was that time I was the vice president of NSUB, and then we got together, a few of us, and then we started this ANGAMI Krotho Bangalore in 1999. Then later on, since most of us were students, in fact, by that time, when ASUB was from, I was already working. Richard was also already working, and he was doing projects with various firms. Then Vikadyo was studying. Then we had some other friends who were probably studying theology, and then somewhere in the secular colleges. We got together and decided that we'll, have a students' union, and that's how we started. We have been given a lot of credit saying that we had big visions. No, the truth was we didn't have any vision, except that we wanted our people to be together. We wanted to help each other in times of need, because we were very far. It took 3 days by train to reach Bangalore. Those days, except for one or two, the rest of us, we could not afford flight fares. Because, first of all, it took 2 days by flight, 3 days by train, that also from Guwahati. If you include the bus journey, it's about 4 days. And that's how we used to reach Bangalore. So when we reach Bangalore, we don't go back for years. I have friends who have not gone back for 3 years. Home. Even me, the first time I went home was after 2 years. After I finished my studies only, I went home. No doubt the vacations also were short. We get 10, 20 days of vacation. You spend 10 days traveling, then you hardly have any time at home. So that was the story then. And that is why we thought we need to get together, at least celebrate Christmas together. We have the NCF where we celebrate at All Saints Church. But even among our people, we should spend together our time. So maybe even organize Sekrenyi together. So these were some of the reasons we got together. And from this union, I'm so grateful to God. He has always been faithful to each one of us. To anyone who believes in Him, He has been faithful. And that is how I think He has brought this ASUB to its 25th year of existence. And I particularly thank those in the middle who took over, who have ensured that the fire kept burning in spite of the difficulties which each of us would have faced. During our days, Bangalore had a few Naga students. I think we didn't even reach hundreds. Everyone put together from across political boundaries, Nagas put together, we were perhaps just a few hundreds only. And most students, particularly from Nagaland, were into theological studies, because Bangalore is well known for its theological colleges and the famous UTC in which we are here today. So most were theologians. It was easy to get in touch with the theologians because they were concentrated in certain colleges like SciEx, SABC. We had a few in UTC at that point of time. Then there was another college called BBBC. Then some other colleges in and around Bangalore in the outskirts too. So it was a little easy to get in touch with them. So we used to travel by bike to each of these colleges, meet up with our friends, fellow friends, and discuss with them. When there were problems, we go to them. They come to us also. And then that is how we slowly started our community. And over the years, I have one very fond memory, and I'm also very grateful to that lady. She is none other than one Mrs. Daisy Shantapa. She is no more here. She was the guardian, de facto guardian for every Naga person who came down to Bangalore whenever they didn't have any guardian. She is no more with us. I think she passed away somewhere in the about 2008 or something like that. She passed away. I could not come down also. But she was the one who stayed in Vasant Nagar. And I think those days, every Mount Carmel students, their guardian was Desi Sandapa. So we are grateful to her. And she has no family left except her relatives. So I just wanted to put her name also on the record. It was in her home that we used to get together. She had a small home, and then she had a very small common room, a living room, where there were around 2 or 3 sofas. The whole Angami student, initially when we formed, we could fit into that common room. But today, I can see that it's huge. The report of the Angami student president says that there are over 100 of us here today. And I think that's a big blessing, that's a big leap. We started with the theme of ensuring unity, and that's what is being celebrated as our theme today. I'm very grateful to the convener for that. Any Naga student from our side who comes down to Bangalore, you are the cream of the society. Remember that. It is not easy to send somebody to Bangalore. Just to come down also, it takes not only time, but it takes a lot of resources. Many of our parents are farmers. Many of our parents are in the middle class who can hardly sometimes even pay our fees when we were studying at home. We have come down here to do our studies. And with that in mind, I think we need to rededicate ourselves to the purpose for which we have come down to Bangalore. It is also very heartening to note that we have a lot of employees in the private sector, particularly in the hospitality sector and perhaps even in the IT sector, and a few in the teaching and other counseling sectors. One problem which we Nagas face, when I was in Delhi, I had experienced that, and last night I was talking to Rovi, he also expressed a little bit about that, is that we don't have that much patience when it comes to work. We do our work well, we are praised by our employers, but the thing is that we don't continue in a place with sincerity and dedication in the long run. We tend to change very fast. That brings us to another question of the characters which we Nagas possess. Perhaps we are not very stable. And I think that stability is something which we need to bring in today. You being the cream of the society, I think that is what we need to educate, inculcate in ourselves. All of you also must be already knowing, but from the northeastern states, the Japanese, particularly the Japanese, they prefer northeastern states to work with them. And interestingly, in the last data shared by none other than Mr. Konrad Sangma, the Honorable Chief Minister of Meghalaya, in one of our meetings at Shillong, he said that Nagas were the highest population working in Japan. And when we think of Japan, we think that it is only the caregivers who go to Japan. No. Majority of the Naga workers who are working today in Japan are technicians. They are working in the construction industry as skilled manpower. And that is very encouraging. I was really encouraged to hear that information. And who are these? Perhaps they were like you in this place once upon a time. Before the formation of the ASUB, I'm going a little here and there, but I just wanted to share one or two stories, just one story. In 2001, the Chinese, then Chinese premier, one Li Peng, he became, I think, the Chinese president later on. Li Peng was about to come to Bangalore, and he was coming to Bangalore. And our friends from Tibet, they wanted to hold some rallies in Bangalore to coincide with Mr. Lee's visit to Bangalore. So the Bangalore police were on high alert. Fortunately or unfortunately, at that point of time, we had about 20-odd VDB secretaries. I'm sure you know what is VDB, Village Development Board secretaries. They were on an educational tour to Bangalore, along with 2 BDO, Block Development Officers. And I was in the office. I had just started working. I got a call from the police station saying that somebody is claiming to be Nagaland and they have given your reference. And they are here in the police station now. So immediately I call up a few of my friends, local friends, also some politicians also, I called them up. And then I told them, please come to that police station, that MG Road police station. I've forgotten the name. But just at the beginning of MG Road, there's a police station. So I went there. And my friends also reached there. Then when we inquire, what happened was, they were roaming on that Coupon Park Street, and they were picked up by the police suddenly, it seems. So I asked the police, why did you pick them up? Then the police later replied that we thought they were Tibetans who were going to do demonstration against the visit of that Chinese leader. So that was one incident which we faced, and it was nice that we could intervene and then release them without any further complications. You know, uttenimi dono tiz kekrame puza chahami shirigo kia tiz chahami puza uttenimi dono ha purest form of democracy baje. This was our tradition, and perhaps this is still being followed in most places. With the intervention of modern politics, modern election system, it is actually disturbing that pure form of democracy which our people followed at one point of time. Leaders became leaders not because somebody wanted them to be leaders at that point of time. Leaders became leaders because from childhood the community studied them. The community assessed them from the day they were born, the way they acted when they were in the morongs, and the way they behaved when they became older. That was the way in which leaders were selected. And this is one tradition which is being followed among most Angami villages. And I would like to encourage each one of us to continue with such traditions which are of high value. This is one thing which I wanted to share regarding traditions. My friend Richard, we were planning to come down together along with Dr. Atu and Vikadu also. However, they had some work, and Richard, as you know, is a very busy person. They could not make it. But my friend Richard had mentioned in his speech about, an idol, a mentor. Before I close, I would like to remind all of you that the best mentor, the best idol that you can think of, the best counselor that you can think of is with us all the time. His name is none other than Jesus Christ. And I think if we can follow even one thing which he has done, or he has said, or he has commanded us to do, perhaps we can all become the best. And be it a Naga, an Angami, or any other tribe, I think our land can be healed if and only if we all consider him to be not only our mentor by word but by deeds. Thank you all so much for this opportunity. I wish the celebration of the Silver Jubilee all the best. Kevi Uya, Kuknalim.